Hello, my name is Laura Alfaro, and I am here to talk about a section of my master's dissertation called Would You Like to Introduce Your Character? Translation of Non-Binary Characters in a Dungeons and Dragons Campaign. First, I will start with a brief explanation of Dungeons and Dragons, also known as D&D, and its relation to identity. Then I will introduce the group of players I am analyzing and their impact, as well as their campaigns and the LGBTQ representation in them. Afterwards, I will focus on the non-binary characters in their last campaign and show a few examples of my proposed translation and the reasons for the choices I made. And I will finish with some conclusions and the bibliography used. Longman Dictionary defines Dungeons and Dragons as a type of role-playing game in which the characters pretend to be a magic character or strange creature who must either do something difficult, such as finding a magic ring, or must prevent someone else from doing it. The game is played with one person as a dungeon master or DM, who narrates the story and describes the surroundings and what is happening, and any number of players who create a character that lives in the dungeon master's world. These games are stretched over weeks, months, or even years, and they are referred to as campaigns. Although Dungeons and Dragons has been seen as a game dominated by male participants, contemporary surveys such as Rol y Género by Machenkoses have shown more diversity in the players, seeing an increase in the female and non-binary players, as well as a decrease on discrimination. Another important factor is that the creation of characters gives the players freedom to explore other genders and sexualities. The streaming of these games also gives more visibility to gender identities and sexualities. Critical Role is a group of voice actors that play D&D once a week on stream. Their names are Taliesin Jaffe, Laura Bailey, Liam O'Brien, Travis Willingham, Matthew Mercer, Sam Riegel, Ashley Johnson, Robbie Damon, and Maurice Ray. They began playing in their own homes, uploading videos to the social network Vine until 2015, when they were offered to stream their campaign on the YouTube channel Geek and Sundry. Since then, and due to their success, they have started their own company with a Twitch channel with over 1.2 million followers, where they stream most Thursdays their D&D campaign, and a YouTube channel with almost 2 million followers, where they upload the streams on the following Monday, as well as upload other D&D related content. In total, they have played 2 entire campaigns and are in the middle of their third, as well as having multiple short campaigns and one-shots. This is the name given to campaigns that end the same day they begin. They have also helped produce and write and have starred in an animated show of their first campaign called The Legend of Vox Machina in Amazon Prime. They have also had famous guests on their streams that have given them more visibility, such as drag queen Heidi N. Closet or TV host Stephen Colbert. Every campaign is usually named after the name the group gives themselves. All these groups have had LGBTQ representation. In the first campaign, we found the group of Vox Machina, in which we had bisexual representation with twins Bex and Bax, as well as with the gnome Scanlan, but also demisexual representation with the character of Keyleth and a romantic representation with Grog. The second campaign, called The Mighty Nine, had again a few bisexual characters like Caleb and Molly. Molly was also a gender fluid character, the first main character to not be cisgender. There was also lesbian representation with Jasha and Bo, and an aromantic and asexual character called Caduceus. This last campaign is called Bell's Hells, and while we're still discovering characters' identities as they play, we have a gay character called Orim. There have been scenes suggesting 2 characters could be sapphic, and there's also 2 main non-binary characters called Ashton and FCG. Non-binary characters have been in critical roles campaigns since the beginning, but they were mostly secondary characters played by the DM, Matt Mercer. This is the first campaign where 2 players create non-binary characters. On one side we have Ashton, an Erthianasi that uses he they pronouns, played by Taliesin Jaffe, and on the other hand we have Freshcut Grass, or also known as FCE, a robot played by Sam Riegel, who also uses he they pronouns. Apart from them, in the first episode of the campaign, which is the one I am analyzing, we find 2 other non-binary characters played by the Dungeon Master, We have Milo, a non binary human that uses they them pronouns, and Dancer, who uses she they pronouns but is only mentioned in this episode, even though she does appear episodes later. I have divided my translation here on the right side, depending on the character that is referred to. So the first two lines are about Ashton, the third one is about Milo, the next two are about FCG, and the last two about Dancer. The first thing to comment about the translation is the use of ella. Although the Spanish Academy of Language does not approve this as correct, it is the most commonly used pronoun by non binary people in Spain. It is the equivalent of they in this context, so it needed to be used. The next important thing to take into account is the way the characters refer to themselves and to others, because in most cases they have more than one pronoun option. So we need to figure out if they use one pronoun more than the other or if they use both the same amount. In these cases, what I realized was that when FCG and Ashton talk about themselves, they usually use they them pronouns, but when other characters refer to them, they use both pronouns. The case of Dancer is a bit more difficult since she is only mentioned in this episode by FCE and they always use she her pronouns to refer to her. It isn't until a few episodes later that the DM clarifies that Dancer also uses they them pronouns. The aim of my research is to deal with the different issues that may arise when translating a D&D campaign, and that can lead to social issues such as the representation of non-binary identities. Platforms such as Critical Role provide visibility and representation, which leads to normalizing these identities and can prevent their discrimination. A good translation helps spread this message to other languages and cultures, and for that translation, we have to take into account the context and how the pronouns are used. Thank you for your time.